Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Tonight we're going to be talking about some new knives that have come across my desk, a couple of modifications, a couple of gifts. We're going to talk about the end of No New Knife November, what I'm looking forward to. We're going to talk about the Knife News Annual Reader's Choice Poll Awards. That makes sense. Polls. I don't think it's an awards, but Knife News reached out to its readership and asked what it thought the best knives in various categories were. We're going to talk about some of those. Interesting, disappointing, perhaps. But then the big 800-pound gorilla in the room. We will be talking all night about cold steel. Cold steel has been sold or has sold itself or has been gobbled up by a big outdoor conglomerate. So I want to talk about that. Hey, Peter, nice to have you here, sir. Hey, Jock, how you doing, sir? From across the shock. Chad, lovely to have you. So tell me all what you think of this. Cold steel has been sold, like Schrade was sold, and like, what else? Marbles and Gerber and Gerber, maybe. Hey, Blade Ogre, how's it going, sir? Caleb, good to have you here. Howdy, howdy. Manny, a pleasure. Rusty, always a pleasure, sir. Thanks for coming. Hey, Christine, nice to have you. So, yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but we'll talk about that in a minute because, we all know what that means. We all know what it means when you sell out. At least I should say when you sell out. And I'm firmly Generation X, and my generation, which I always thought defining yourself by a generation was bologna sausage. And then I got old and I started looking back on prevailing attitudes in the people I know my age and other people my generation who are maybe in the spotlight or whatever. Sky, welcome. And Generation X is firmly kind of a don't sell out, I might stick around or I might be a fad, but I won't show myself in no TV ad, that kind of thing, like Beastie Boys. And I kind of feel like whenever you do sell things, sell your company out, maybe sell out is the wrong term. That immediately implies something bad. Hey, Dave, it's great to have you here, sir. I didn't mean to ignore you. G-Man, how's it going, sir? But as soon as you sell it, you don't have control over it, and the priorities change, and we'll talk about it. Anyway, congratulations on the Knife Junkie's purchase of cold steel and saving us from the Tantas. That's funny. Yes, that's right. I am the new chairman. Oh, man. I mean, from there, the stars. I mean, they were already make such cool stuff. GSM literally has no idea what it's even bought. They did some superficial research, who makes the toughest knives, but they didn't get to the relishes in making deadly weapons. I know it's like, how does an outdoors conglomerate handle a company that makes halberds and long swords and two-handed Italian this and that? Hey, Plains Crafter, good to have you here. Joe, pleasure. Hey guys, I got 20 minutes, then heading to work. Well, thanks. I know you're on third shift now, but thanks for spending some time here. I'm excited to check out Lavender Pants. Good to have you here, sir. I'm excited to check out that Tucson you're going to be sending me, Joe. I appreciate that. Hey, Brian, talked to a handful of people off the record today. The cold steel thing, I am not optimistic, to say the least. Well, I mean, we've all heard or seen how it's official, at least on the websites of the two companies. But I mean, hey, Edwin, how you doing? Hi, all. First thing that came to my mind when I heard this was, oh, no, Bob. That's hilarious. Yeah, I thought, oh, no, Jimmy. And Jimmy, Josh, Jimmy Slash had a video up today, and, he said it all. So I figured we'd talk about it tonight. I've been through 2 corporate buyouts as an employee. They suck. Yes. It's a terrifying thing when you find out your company has been sold. Nick says, guess it's time to buy an 8015. Yeah, that's what I was texting back and forth with my brother Vic. And, he was like, speculating that things are going to end up sucking just like everyone else is. And let's see, according to people on their Instagram, they have horrible customer service. But Monster Racing, we have to admit, they've been under the guidance of a very unique person who's creating some very unique knives. And I fear that when you take something unique and you put it into a giant group that all has the same goal, that uniqueness is stripped away. Jock says Cold Steel no more. 2020 can eat a whole bag of them. Chad says there's a girl that worked there at Cold Steel Facebook group telling all about it. So, their priorities will shift. They will change. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's see. Cold Steel embraced notoriety. Corporations cannot take that sort of risk, especially a conglomerate backed by a hedge fund. Yep. R.I.P. Cold Steel. Rest in peace. Out of my cold dead hands. Well, that's the thing. There's going to be a run on OG Cold Steels now. Everyone's going to go out and buy what they can snap up. Yeah, they're going to be the new Gerber. God, you know what? How cool would it be? This is not going to happen because Lynn Thompson has not been the easiest person to schedule things with, and the trail went cold with Mr. Thompson. But how cool would it be if he were watching right now, or someone were watching from the company and came on and talked about it and assured the people that things aren't going to suck from here on out. But whatever. I mean, I shouldn't say whatever. Lynn Thompson started the company 40 years ago. It's a 40-year-old company. And I don't know how old he is, but he must have been a pretty young man when he started it. And he turned it into quite a thing. And I can understand wanting to bow out. It's just too bad that he didn't donate it to Jimmy Slash and myself and all of us. Let's see. Jimmy said he heard from GSM Instagram that Lynn might still be involved. I'm sure he will be for a while. He'll, that sort of turning it over kind of guidance, and well, this is how we do it, and these are the companies we use, and then they'll say, oh, well, that's too expensive, and they'll say, and these are the steels we use, and I'll say, oh, that's too expensive, and these are the designs like the 8015. That's a little complicated. Let's go back to the let's go back to the pre-Triad backlog times, because that's all the people who are going to be buying these knives in the big box stores are going to want. Is what I'm speculating. It's just one speculation. But anyway, I just wanted to show you before we go, ankle deep in the Cold Steel thing. I want to get to a couple of other things. One thing I want to talk about, No New Knives November is obviously over. I actually made it through unscathed, but not due to my own discipline. I did break down and tried to buy a little Rattler 13 days into it because it being a GEC and knowing how quickly they get snapped up, I figured I'd be left out in the cold. I got a severe case of FOMO, and yes, I broke down and bought the $70 little Rattler, which was stolen in my mailroom because I sleuthed it out, and I shouldn't say stolen. It disappeared in the mailroom at work. Like I have a paper trail leading to the mailroom, and then it stops. And I do happen to know that there's a guy in the mailroom who, well, some might characterize as a bit sketchy, and I know that he's into knives. So I'm like, he saw the BHQ on the return address. But anyway, I deserved it. Maybe that was karma. Maybe that was God or whomever watches over me saying, look, dude, you said you were going to do this. You made a big deal about it. You talked about it quite a bit. You made hay with it. So stick to it, even if it means some cheesy ex-meth head has to walk around with your knife, so there I am. So made it through No New Knife November without. Now what I really am looking to get is the Terrain 365. It's interesting that Slicey's name comes right up as I say this, but the STS -AT is such a cool knife with the Teravantium blade and just, fashioned after the Loveless shoot knife. That's probably going to be my first ridiculous purchase. Jim, can you go back to Slicey? To be clear, I have zero animosity towards Lynn for selling his company. He's earned every penny of whatever he got. No doubt. He owes us nothing. It's kind of like telling an artist to clean up his language because my kids might be watching. Well, you got to keep your kids from watching, man. Don't tell the artist what to say, so to speak. And no doubt you can't tell Lynn Thompson what to do with his company. It's just that so much of the people, there are a lot of people out there who are in love with the company and like everything they do. I guess I'm one of them. And you kind of don't want to see it go the wrong way. It's like I'd rather see I'd rather see Jane's Addiction break up after Ritual de lo Habitual than keep pumping out albums, you know, and not be what they were at the first 2 or 3 albums. You know, go up, break up. Lynn Thompson, go start another label, a small California-based label, and call it, you know, I don't know, Thompson Special Projects, and make some cool new knives, and we'll buy them. But anyway, so I don't know what I'm even saying. No new knives November. I want the shoot knife. Cold Steel. I guess I got to snap up whatever I want before they go. But I think I'm pretty well set up with the Cold Steel stuff. What I'm looking now for is an 80/20. Knives I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I guess I didn't. I see. I'm just talking, and then things occur to me. It's the 80/20 keeps coming up, because people keep showing it off, and like, isn't this smooth? Isn't this unique? Isn't this cool? This is the greatest thing, and I can't believe I don't have one. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, that's on the short list. The shoot knife, or the STS-AT, Terrain 365, and the 80/20. That's what it'll be. Any Christmas gift suggestions? Also, I'd love for you to list them out. What I mean by this is things that you could easily buy and have like a little stack of gifts on your desk that you could distribute when the gift giving thing arrives. I'm not going to, because people's particular tastes are so particular, I'm not going to say, what are your suggestions for knife people? I'm saying for knife people to spread the joy far and wide, perhaps to people that they work with in a Secret Santa. I've done that. Every Secret Santa, there's some sort of bladed object goes out into the fray, and I've gotten a lot of knives into a lot of people's hands. Hollywood Tactical. I was looking forward to Cold Steel's version of the 80/20. Well, we asked Andrew Demko if they were going to do that, and he said, you know, that has not even come up yet. So I think maybe the speed of his designs to the Cold Steel manufacturing floor is very, very long. I think he's designed a whole bunch of knives expressly for Cold Steel, but Cold Steel taking his designs that are already existent, like his customs, and turning them into something. I think that takes longer. I don't know. Rusty says the big question is whether Andrew Demko will still be involved. That is the big question. Just so happens I have his email address, so we should find out. I will. Yeah, I need to give him a call and find out. Actually, Slicey just spoke with him in his. He's got a cool series from the truck, conversations from the truck. And hey, Nick, how you doing? Spyderco emphasis as a gift, $27, and that's in the new. Yeah, that's one of the new budget offerings. But Slicey's got a cool show, and he spoke to Andrew Demko recently. I have not seen that show yet, but I don't know. Perhaps they brought it up. Brian, you might chime in if you hear this. Jesus, wait, what did that say there, Jim? Sorry. Jesus, I'm seeing a Dolica with a triad lock. A Dolica with a triad lock. The SOG Aegis FL for $9.99. Wow. SOG Aegis FL. What is FL? What is the FL? For $9.99. That's insane, man. Yeah, that's a good thing to have around. I went to Lowe's when they first opened a Lowe's near me at work. I went there and they had a bunch of SOG flashes, the old ones with the steel. I got all the women in my family KIA kitchen knives. Yeah, nice, with penguins on them. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I have we got a bunch of shuns for our wedding way back when. Kai knows how to make a knife. Yeah, where was I going with that? Lost it. Sorry, lost it. Oh, I remember. I would have to stay involved if Lynn isn't there anymore. Probably not. I think he would probably go with Lynn. But who the hell? How do I know? I don't know that. Speculation. I was back onto it, and then I fell back off of it. Ugh. Anyway, so I want to show you something new. Something that I recently. Well, I showed it off, and here it is. This is the knife. This is the knife that I carved out of steel like a year ago, and then it sat around, and then I had Alex Steingraber, asked him to heat treat it after he told me he wanted to offer services to knife makers. And so I was his first customer. I think he will be great for real knife makers. Of course, I'm a hobbyist, but this is AEBL, and he hardened it to nearly 60, I think. I can't remember now. I'd have to look at the emails. But he did a lot of experimenting and really dialed it in with the AEBL. So this is a black canvas micarta handle. I have purple liners or lavender liners there. And I have a little, what do you call that? Mosaic pin. And then 2 brass pins. And it's very comfy in the hand. It feels very good to hold. And so this handle shape is something that I've always admired in certain kind of Bowies. Is that a Moran handle? I can't remember what they call that handle type. Hey, Professor EDC, good to see you, sir. But I like the way it looks, but actually this dip here really, in addition to this sort of horse hoof shape here, with that dip, you can really lay back here and get some really nice leverage with the chopping. Oh, thank you, Rusty. I appreciate it, sir. So it's not as fat as a regular Bowie. A regular Bowie is traditionally a 1/4 inch thick. This is 3/16, I think. It's got a sharpened swedge, though it's more of an axe. Like it's more of a wedge shape on the swedge, but it's sharp, and the blade is very sharp. The handle, I think, is really let's see, ready to destroy Space Cop. Well, yes, of course. I think everything about it I really like, except here I got to clean this up with a Dremel and kind of straighten out this little piece here, or curve it, or make it more deliberate, whatever that shape is. Thank you, Monster Racing. I appreciate that, sir. But the other thing is the actual blade itself, like the flats. I hand did it. Thank you. I hand did it on my 42 by 2 inch Craftsman grinder. And now that's my way of slipping in like, oh, it's my equipment, really. But hey, Stasa, good to have you here, Nick. But I just don't have the chops to grind very evenly. And there are places where I just didn't want to keep grinding it and getting rid of those lines, and I wasn't sure if hand finishing it. Oh, thank you. Like about I can see the tops making a thing like yes, exactly. Yes, I like the way you think, sir. But I just didn't have the patience to hand sand out the deeper gouges, and then I was worried that if I actually worried with the sandpaper over a gouge, then I would have dips and waves and all sorts of weirdness. So I just kind of left it with those grind lines in there. And I don't care. I'm just going to have it and make a sheath for it and thrash on it and have fun with it. But I'm pretty proud of it. And I really am especially psyched that one of the guests of the show, Alex Steingraber, had something to do with this in his heat treating it. And so it's got a little something extra special baked into it, quite literally. But I think this might be my new go to war Bowie. Crazy Knife Freak, aka Peter. Hey, how's it going, sir? What do you think of that? It's all belly, and it's got a big long swedge, and it's the larger version of this knife that I made a long time ago and have carried quite a bit. So there you have it. I call it the Liberator. Like you're in trouble and it liberates you. It's pretty subtle. A couple of things before we move. I want to get back on the cold steel topic, and turned out really well. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, man. I do. It's fun. I think I have a good eye for the design of knives, but wow, I really have severe respect for people who have skill with grinders and what they can do, because it ain't easy. I mean, it's really not easy at all to get things even, especially when you don't have the greatest equipment. I could imagine it's a little bit better when you have good equipment, but equipment is not the answer. So I want to tell you about this. I live in a place. It's very domesticated. It's very urban. It's like one of the big cities in the country, and and it's very woke in a lot of ways. And if you want to get a knife, you have to order it online, or you can get a cheesy sort of something at the old Target. You can get Swiss Army knives, that kind of thing. But you can't get dirks, you can't get daggers, you can't get Bowie knives, you can't get decent folders and that kind of thing. If you go to a gun shop, you can, but most gun shops don't have them, at least around here, because the margins are terrible on knives in stores. You can just, everybody knows they can buy them cheaper online. So what does a regular guy do if he needs a dagger? What does he do? I mean, he can make it, or he could buy it online. But what I'm getting at is he could also go to Home Depot and buy this Klein Tools knife that they call a drywall knife. Look at this. It's a drywall knife, officer. Just cutting drywall, officer. Just doing some home repairs, officer. What? Just doing home repairs with this really, really ergonomic, really sharp and serrated and double-edged, daggery, pointy, murdery tool. I'm just doing drywall work. Grinding is so hard, especially if you don't have an eye for angles, but I'm practicing. Oh, and what a sweet space you have. Stasa, you should check out, Nick has been putting up videos of his knife mods. He's been doing tons of knife mods for himself and for customers, and he's doing awesome stuff. Especially Nick, I love your chops, man. Taking existing knives and making small versions of them, and doing a beautiful job in sort of reimagining them and redesigning them. So yeah, if you're an assassin and you're in a pinch, just go to Home Depot, man, and get yourself a drywall tool. Look at this. This looks like a SOG Pentagon, just larger, with a grippier handle. Incidentally, you can take that handle and you can brain someone with it, or you can put it on a 55-gallon drum full of Uzis and pong, 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 hit that with a hammer. That's freaking hilarious. I'm going to see if they're available in New York. I mean, yeah, they slipped under the radar in my location, and my location is pretty unforgiving in the cool things, I should say. Jock, love that. Who thought DIY could be so mega? Exactly. They even give you like a sheath. I mean, you could. It's a decent sheath. It'll fit nicely on your tool belt. I don't know. I mean, do you walk around with this? I don't know. Forky asks a question. I don't know. Okay, onward. So I thought something kind of funny. Home Depot Mexico doesn't have those. Yeah, who knows, man? You might be surprised. I don't know, man. Who knows? It slipped right in. It's called the Klein Tools drywall knife. Klein Tools drywall knife for drywall. Or for fights on the work site, I think is more like it. Great spot, Bob. All right, well, definitely check that out. Hey, Jake, how you doing? Can't stand long, but wanted to say hey. How you doing, Jake? I don't know if you missed that, but definitely, if you can't get daggers out there in California, just go to Home Depot and pick yourself up a drywall knife. This might be the greatest secret I just revealed. Who knows? If you cut drywall with that, nearby women will get pregnant. It's science. Yeah, they have a bigger one too. I think for that purpose as well. Pocket check. Incidentally, I was carrying the Emerson that I bought from Brian from Slicey Dicey. This thing is amazing. This is the Appalachian, and boy, oh boy, is this sucker sharp as hell. Just sharp as hell. I love this thing. It has great action. It does still wheeze when you close it, though. There's a little slight... Oh, here's my microphone. It's right here. You get that? I don't care. I don't care. Oil has not taken care of that. I guess I could take it apart and buff the whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to do that. It'll go away eventually, but I just like the wheeze. It's like, Jake, I've always thought a dagger would be handy when working on drywall. I know, because all of the most harrowing things happen when drywall is out. Yeah, so Emerson Appalachian. This is one of the ones that wheeze was weird. This is one of, yeah, I've had the Emerson wheeze, I guess we can call it, right here. You heard it here first. I've had a couple that have the wheeze. The wheeze goes away, unlike real life where the wheeze just gets worse. But yeah, carried this today in my just absolutely shredded up favorite jeans. Man, jeans just do not last. You know, they do not last. And then you get something like this and you're like, well, I won't pull it in and out of my pocket too many times today. And it still just thrashes the pocket. So I had that. I also had, tell me what you guys had. I'm interested in what people are carrying. It's been so long since I bought something or since I prevaricated with y'all. So this was my left pocket carry. It's a Rough Rider. What do you call it? Barlow with a smooth white bone. Very nice, very inexpensive, very sharp, handy, well constructed. Little slip joint. I used the pen blade today. I didn't use the main blade. I used this to open up a package of chicken. Yes. What would I have done without this? I would have been lost, I tell you. And then my jacket knife. I saw that someone, I think it may have been Nick Alvarez, Emerson recovered from 19. Oh, nice. Okay, so Emerson recovered from 19. Does that mean that you lost it in 2019 and just found it? Because I just found a knife today in this shirt, actually, in the pocket of this shirt. And well, it was a relief, but I didn't know I was missing it. So I've been carrying this quite a bit. Now this is my bug out, and you know I carry this a lot anyway. This is what the what's the Allen Putnam scales made on Micarta, but it has the new small snaggletooth MF on it, anodized to the same color blue that the thumb stud is, and they send you screws that are short enough or long enough to accommodate both the pocket deployer and the stock thumb stud, because oops, it's the wrong side, the stock thumb stud. Because otherwise you'll use the hexagonal nut that they send you, which is fine, works great, but it's not as comfortable, doesn't look as cool as the original thing. That works fantastic. Rob Penna over at Snaggletooth Tactical wanted me to check this out. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and I said I'd be carrying it around and checking it out. Well, to be 100% honest, it hasn't worked out in my pocket very much, because I don't like, even when I have a knife with a lanyard, I end up cutting it off unless it's all the way in the pocket, because I just don't like things hanging out of my pocket. However, every winter I have an inside pocket knife in my jacket. I carry I usually wear like a Duluth Trading Company kind of canvasy heavy thing, and they have all of these pockets on the inside. It's cool. It's like a whole organizer on the inside. Carrying a Spidey amalgam today. What a weird knife, but cool. And I know you had it. Didn't you have that tweak by BJ Hill? Anyway, so this has been a great pocket inside pocket knife for my jacket, because it's thin, it's light, and it's small enough. Riot Tribute. I'm not sure what the tribute is. This ring works great for my inside the Benchmade Anthem. Woo! That's discontinued now, I believe. Great for extracting this knife out of my inside jacket pocket. They call it the engagement ring. And every one of their products has a little bit of a pun to it. And I didn't realize the pun until later. I thought, yes, it helps you engage the blade, you know. But it's like an engagement ring. It's like a double entendre. But this thing works great for that. So it's in my inside pocket, my jacket right here. And, you know, you got the deep carry clip. So all that really hangs out is this over the inside of the pocket. And I can just grab this, pull it out. And then I have the knife in my hand. You know, this, I don't usually need it in my hand like this, but I like that you can extract it with this thing. So the engagement ring is a cool new addition to the Snaggletooth lineup. So those three knives, or what I carried today. Hollywood Tactical. I carried the Terminus XR. Yes. And yes, it definitely catches on the clothing and you can't get it out of pocket. Review forthcoming. Okay, I have a Terminus XR, the one I got from Knife Rights, and I don't carry it much. My issue with that knife is the GEC 19 in Kingwood. That's nice, Nick. Real nice. And St. Nick's PM2 today. Oh, cool. The St. Nick's. I think I've seen that. I think you've shown that on Instagram. That was just a reference to the fact that I really like that little rattler. Vero Impulse Mini. Impulse Mini. CQC 8. Beautiful. The banana blade. Cal, I'm carrying my Emerson Big Bulldog and Buck 112. So the Big Bulldog, that's what the big, that's what the, with the drop point Tanto, I think. Drop point meaning, yeah, you get it. The 0393. Okay, cool. CF Adam. Okay. Man, God, we got some classy viewers here. A Victorinox Tinker and a Civivi Isham McKenna. Man, see, I need to get an Isham knife in my life. Oh, carried my Trevor Berger Lex K Plus. I know Trevor Berger. I know him through. I don't know him personally, but I know his knives from Alex and the knives he has. I'm wondering what a Lex K is, or LEX. G&G Hawk / Serge Panchenko Orbit and the Civivi McKenna. Jeez, man. Benchmade Grizzly Ridge and a Rough Rider Cotton Sampler, Mark Herrera. Oh, you mean like this cotton sampler? I love it. Cotton samplers are just so cool. The Rona 19. Yeah, you're carrying the Rona 19. I hope not, man. Cotton sampler. What a cool design. Can you? I'm sorry, sir. Can you, Jim? Can you bring back Peter? Therapeutic Edges. In the pocket today was the Artisan Tacit. What the hell is the Tacit? I cannot keep these. There are too many knives. What is the Artisan Tacit? I'm sure it's awesome because I've had this Artisan Centauri for probably too long now from the Pass Around group, and I just love this thing. And then I have that multi-tool. Let's see, Benchmade Freak Vanilla and Cold Steel 8015 in honor of the news, I'm sure. And the Case Tribal Lock. The Tribal Lock, a Tony Bose design. I've heard so many disparaging things about the case execution of the Tribal Lock. Blade Ogre, let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm sure you like it. You wouldn't be. You're obviously a man of discerning taste. You wouldn't have it in your pocket if you didn't like it. But are you experiencing any issues with your Tribal Lock? Matthew Y says, been loving the Olamic Swish, the Harzy 3.25, and the Chavez 229 bronze chisel Tanto. Oh God, the Chavez I love. Got to be honest. It's the clip. It's the clip. It's the clip, but luckily the clip, because that's a whole line of knives that I kind of feel like I don't need to get, even though they're so beautiful. But that clip, I'm just not a skull guy. Tim Simcoe says, sorry, I'm late. Did I miss you talking about the new Emerson kitchen knives? No, you did not. Actually, we are not talking about the kitchen knives, Tim, but did you see Ernest Emerson cutting up his turkey with that beautiful, it looks like the Persian. It looks like a big fighting version of the Persian. He calls it a kitchen knife. You could do a lot of things with a kitchen knife. That thing looks like it's purpose built for something else, though. Rusty says Spartan Blades Palace TRM Adam Rough Rider Reserve RRR one arm razor. I can't wait to get that one. That, of course, is sold out. That big Whittler looks cool, and I wouldn't mind getting that. But I think I'm not so crazed about it. I think I'd much rather wait to get that one arm. Hey, Lefty, how's it going? Hope it's great. Thirsty Thursday for you all as well. I've got coffee and water, so I will be quite thirsty. Yeah. Salud. Hey, Mike, how you doing? I've been carrying my prototype Fox recoil gun stock. I'm using it to do a study into which thread locker is best for your Torx pivots. All right, so that's Mike Latham there carrying one of the Fox knives that Collector Knives is exclusive with Fox, and it's a gun stock, as you can tell from what he wrote, which I don't have any close at hand, but I love the gun stock handle. It kind of looks like an old, the back spring is kind of flat and curved, and then the part of the handle that engages the inside part of your hand looks like a cowboy gun stock. You knew that. But anyway, over at collectorknives.net, they've been making some really cool exclusives, for a couple of years now. And so I'm excited to see what this one looks like. And he's checking out to see what thread locker is best for Torx. That's cool. The engagement ring can be held by the pinky to be held in a regular grip. Yeah, you can. But I don't think it'd be comfortable, actually. You know what? Actually, if you needed to just say this is your only knife and you have this, and you got to clear a little tiny bit of prickers or something, you need to do a little hacking, a little bit of light, you just need to back up a little bit. This would definitely be a nice feature. Lanyard would kind of do the same thing, but that does add a nice thing. Now, the one thing, I think I mentioned this last time, is that if you're used to test cut my birthday tenderloin on the grill with the amalgam today, nope, wasn't tricked by the Tropin. The Tropin. Tricked out Tropin. Okay. Happy birthday, Dave. That's awesome, Dave. This old sword blade reviews. Today's his birthday. Thank you. Thanks for letting us know. Happy birthday, sir. It's great to know that. Did I miss the cold steel talk? It's been coming and going, and let's re-engage right now. What do you think of it? The question being, oh wait, hang on. Before I get there, just let me finish this thought. I'm trying to do this more now. I'm trying to finish thoughts and not just be like, oh, something shiny. So we're going to come back to cold steel in a second. With this engagement ring, something you have to be aware of. This is not for doing karambit manipulations. This is not for the flipping and the percussive stuff and all that, because it moves on. Oops, I'm sorry. It moves not only this way, but it moves this way. So this is this is kind of, if you will, like a rigid fob or lanyard. Think of it more that way. Pardon me. Excuse me. So very cool product, and definitely check out Snaggletooth. And they have the small and the large. The large fits all the cold steels. The small fits a bunch of different Benchmades. The large fits a bunch of different Benchmades. But this fits some smaller knives, the Rat 2, that kind of thing. So definitely check them out. The cold steel talk. So let me know what you think. Sir, I have come to the conclusion that it's just the way things are. I went with my Buck 110 today. What a great classic. Got to have it on the hip, though. Cold steel sold to whom? What? So GSM or GMS. Let me see. GMS. Global. I can't remember. Good sportsmanship, something or other. It's a giant conglomerate of brands of outdoor gear. And so they picked up a knife brand, basically. And as one of the commenters earlier mentioned, now I don't remember who, but they are probably just like, who makes the toughest knives? Okay, let's buy them. And Lynn Thompson has been at it for 40 years, made that company out of nothing. It's probably like, all right, I have all the halberds I need. I have all of the medieval weaponry and all the Filipino swords, and which there are still some for him to make, if you ask me, but still got I got all the stuff I need now, sell it and cash out and enjoy my retirement, my killer ranch and all that. I get that. I understand that. It's just too bad, because we all know how that thing goes. Because GMS is not in the business of making kick-ass knives and customer service. They're in the business of acquiring outdoor brands, like fair to Midland outdoor brands, and then selling things and serving their stockholders, right? I mean, that's what they're there for. My question about cold steel is, will Lynn still be involved? To me, Lynn was cold steel. Absolutely. I can't even imagine the company without him at the helm. I would imagine you can't have him at the helm and have, hey, Matthew, good to have you here, sir. Been drooling over your knives lately, of course. Who TF is GMS? Yeah, like I said, some giant conglomerate. They have a bunch of brands you've never heard of, or maybe some you have. But you can go to their website and check out a list, and Cold Steel is at the bottom of their list of companies they own. GMS is a large hunting company that owns a bunch of hunting companies. They have nothing to do with knives, right? Like tents and I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but I know that it's a lot of non-knife gear, so they need to add that to their roster. Fine. But why does it have to be Cold Steel? I mean, because really, if you think about it, most of their stuff is not hunting knives. Most of their stuff is not hunting knives. All of it could be bent towards hunting, but they're not special. They're going to have to reduce the catalog by a huge factor just because, how is an outdoor company who owns a bunch of kind of all right brands, breaking news, Spyderco has been purchased by Dollar General. Oh, damn. Oh, man, this year just keeps getting better and better. Top sold to Fruit of the Loom. Yo. Oh, my God. Yeah. But anyway, what I was going to say is, how does a company like GMS that is in the business of acquiring brands and streamlining and, what a big company like that does, how the hell are they going to market halberds? How are they going to market Zulu war clubs and throwing spears? I mean, that stuff's going to go away. That stuff is going to become incredibly valuable. And in this incredibly domesticated society we live in, there's going to be no one to fill the gap of battle axes, battle worthy. You're going to have to go to Song of Athena or whatever that website is called and buy some fruity kind of like LARPing gear if you want a sword. Or something very, very expensive. What's that guy's name? Makes those incredible swords. Dan he's got a gorilla as his logo. Well, anyway, someone's gonna have to fill that void. Maybe it's gonna have to be me. I'll be the one making the halberds in the future. Just kidding. They saw that one video of Lynn spear hunting a buffalo and decided they must have it. Yeah. He used his Filipino footwork to get out of the way. I know a lot of people laugh, but that shit is true. He did, no doubt. I mean, he's very, very, very good. He's been training in that stuff forever. But without that footwork, he's a big boy. Without that footwork, he wouldn't be half as effective. He can move. Cold Steel barely makes hunting knives. They are synonymous with tactical knives and war implements. Exactly my thought. Yeah, right. Exactly. They have the Pendleton Hunter and a couple of others. They got the Finn Wolf, and they have some of the outdoorsy stuff, but they're going to turn Cold Steel into some gas station bullshit. Man. Yeah, we saw this happen with Schrade. Maybe that happened with Gerber. I know that happened with Marbles. Marbles used to be a classic brand, a classic American knife brand. And I think now they might have some association with Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Not sure, but the point is, it's a totally different outfit, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer, man, because, well, I always kind of felt like everything. To me, it's a bummer when a Cold Steel knife that I was flirting with getting goes out of production, is discontinued. I'm like, oh God. Now, how am I ever going to get a 5.5-inch Talwar? And what do you do without a 5.5-inch Talwar? How do I live with, it was like that kind of thing. But now I'm like, it's not even a question of that. It's not even a question of things being discontinued. It's a question of them just not being there and not having a company that you can reach out to when you need a 7.5-inch folding Navaja, to put under your cummerbund or under your coat to walk into that, bodega or whatever. Hollywood Tactical. Marbles is 1 degree removed from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I knew it was something like that. Wedding Photographer 1. I hate Amazon, but I'm already filling my cart full of Cold Steel gear. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen. Everything's going to get so expensive. Oh, it's all going to get so expensive. I'm going to sell I have a lot, maybe I could feed the family on my Cold Steel collection. Fiskars, the scissors and axe company, bought Gerber. Right. And they also bought, what did they buy? Did they Mora also? Maybe not. Yeah. But if you go to Home Depot again, you can buy Fiskars. I think they're Swedish. You can buy some really intimidating looking machetes that they sell, and they're all kind of like, they got some bright colors on them, like orange, for safety. But they're big. Like if you actually put an edge on them, they don't really come with an edge. But if you put an edge on them, they make some serious. Like they look like orc tools, orc weapons. Very cool. A big part of the Cold Steel Fun was the community parking lot events. Oh man, Facebook user. I've never, living on the East Coast, I never attended one of those, but I love the videos and the photographs of seeing these tables. It looks like a regular flea market. You got these long, folding tables, but it's just heaped with boxes of cold steel knives and open knives, and people, you know the scene. That does sound extremely cool. And what a cool place it must have been to work there. You're kind of bummed at the boss, or something's not going right. You had a bad phone call, bad day at work. You're like, I'm going to the parking lot to throw some axes at lunchtime. If anyone calls, I'll be destroying one of those exploding dummies. I couldn't make the last one. It was literally the last one. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Michael Morgan says, so does Andrew own Cold Steel's locking mechanism patents? I would imagine not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've said that a bunch of times, but I'm going back and forth. Could he continue to make his stuff custom if they did? Oh, I guess he would work out an agreement. I don't know, but I can't imagine that Andrew Demko is going to be kneecapped by this. Dog Draw says, now the Cold Steel parking lot event is just you sitting in your car crying. Exactly. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was right over there. Yeah, right where the contact lens manufacturer and the dentist is. Yeah. Oh God, that sucks. Well, Lynn Thompson certainly earned it. If anyone, I'm on bended knee, though I'm not really, but just imagine me on bended knee. If anyone has any connection, I don't care how many degrees away from Lynn Thompson, let me know. Any little bit helps. Like I said, the trail went cold with him. There was just a couple of emails back and forth with his assistant, and I think it was one too many emails. And the trail went cold, but I'd love to talk to that guy. It must be interesting. Andrew has designed it, but I doubt he has the rights. But that's the reason he does new designs. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, not to mention the fact that this is a person who stays up late at night, obsessing over lock designs. So it's obviously an inherent passion. It's a passion he obviously possesses, and so always reaching forward for new knives, new locking mechanism is awesome. But I mean, come on, the triad lock, that's the lock, because it's the same, only better. It's like Hollywood. Give me the same, only different. Every movie you ever see, same, only different. And his is the same, only better. So definitely call the listener line. Thank you, Jim. 724-466-4487, 724-466-4487. And please do it. Just on a lark. Pick up the phone. Give us a call. And just say, I don't know, what you're carrying. Tell us what you think about Cold Steel and this thing that's happening and what you predict. So tell us what you think of the Cold Steel thing and then what you predict. And then we will make a montage. A montage of audio, right? It's definitely a touchy subject. Yeah, right. We'll make a montage. We'll use your voice. You'll hear it on the supplemental, and it will be immortalized for all history. This is an important time. It's an important topic. So let your voice be heard, people. I could see Andrew Demko starting his own version of Cold Steel. Wouldn't that be cool? And Mike Wallace, his buddy, who I think he's more than a buddy. They're fast friends, I believe, and also his partner in his little lab. They keep making everyone just pay out Lynn. They might not change anything. Well, I don't know, Matthew. I just don't think it would be within the interest of a company like, or an outfit like GMS to keep them the same. And you wonder, well, you say, well, why would they pick them up in the first place? Well, I think what someone else commented is probably the case. Probably low information. Well, that's probably not true. No one just haphazardly spends a lot of money. I don't mean a low information purchase, but I mean like maybe their criteria for the knife company was just the toughest knives out there. Okay, Cold Steel, let's find out what's the price. Every man's got his price. Lynn Thompson's like, God, I was just trying to think of what crazy new thing I could do, like the Voyager Sax that I promised Bob. He didn't. Like the like the Chris that came out, So I don't know. I just don't see it going well. But I don't mean to be a negative Nancy here. I just it's a generational thing. So I want to show you something, and keep the comments coming in, and please let's see. Rumor is they already fired a lot of Cold Steel staff. Ooh, geez, yeah. Keep this kind of information coming, and as you do, because all of you know way more, and so all together we will have the whole story fleshed out. I want to show you something cool. This is my Elvia. There are many others, but this one's mine. Many others like it, but this one is mine. I am not making fun of that creed. I'm just saying that this one is all mine. I reached out to my buddy Tom on Instagram. Tom has an Instagram handle called Blades and Such, Blades_and_such. As you remember, he did this natural tan micarta knurled handle for my 13 here, which I love. And when I got the Elvia, I knew it needed the special treatment. So I definitely wanted micarta, and I wanted the wine color, kind of like the color of this shirt here. And he can stay in here. And so I had canvas. I had Tom source some canvas micarta, and I had Tom source some maroon canvas micarta for me, and he came up with some beautiful, beautiful stuff. And then I wanted him not to put the texturing on because I wasn't so interested in that. Oh, okay. So Edwin knows Tom. I'm not surprised. Edwin has the greatest Emerson collection out there, and so he has a lot of customized things. But I didn't want all of this texture on the next one on the Elvia. I wanted it to be to come in and out of the pocket very easily. So I had him contour and round off the handle, and he did an awesome job. It's very smooth, it's polished and sanded beautifully, and he oiled it down. So it's now this beautiful. Hang on. Excuse me 1 second. Please make this stop. Thank you. I love you. Okay. All right. Seriously. All right. So definitely check out Tom at Blades and Such on Instagram. Bob, he does. He will hook you up. He does Emerson's, he does ZTs, and I think he can kind of do anything because he's really killing it. But look at how beautiful this is. What do you think, people? What do you think? Tell me how beautiful it is. It's so beautiful, but it's so smooth. It feels so good in hand. And with the dogs are okay. Oh, he's awesome. It wasn't the dog that was the issue. All right, so it's yeah. So I wanted to show you that. He did my Mini Commander in natural canvas micarta. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Actually, I remember, did you show that? I think I remember seeing that. The dog sounds upset about the Cold Steel news. He's been beside himself all day. It's been terrible. Dogs always have a pass. Yes, they do. This is my first dog since high school, and man, he is awesome. Love him. It does need a wave. I agree. Thank you, Matthew. I think Tom does beautiful work. And what's more, he has awesome customer service. So, I mean, if you want if he sends progress pictures. I couldn't wait. Could you go back to that, Jim? I want to take it from you. Yeah, because it's so it's a sweetheart. Jock loves his dogs. He's got some cool Malamutes, I think, or Huskies. But yeah, so Tom does great customer service. Prices are very reasonable, and you'll be very, very happy with his work. And not for nothing, but check out that backspacer. Same color as the Micarta, and that's a feature. You pay for that, but it's a cool feature, and you don't pay much for it. And it beats the black plastic one, or the standoffs, actually. So, definitely check out Tom. What was that last one about the mini sheepdog? Oh, love my dogs. Oh, sorry. I thought that was... And my Emerson mini sheepdog. Okay, cool. So, now I want to send, I had the old Appalachian out. Appalachian. I love to clean. Yeah, he cleaned up the liners. Yeah, yeah, right. There's usually some machine chatter on the liners. I think that's what he's referring to. But this sucker would look cool in some sort of micarta, like maybe a burlap, micarta. I would love that. That looks like my Purple Haze Horseman. Oh, nice. I know what you're talking about. Someone I want. Alchemy One, I think, has one of those. Beautiful. I wanted to show. Oh my God, this one is blowing my mind. This is my American Blade Works Model 1 version 5. And man, I gotta say, on paper, this is not exactly the knife I would gravitate to. It's not as weapony looking, and it's got a 3 1/4 inch blade, and there's certain things that I might just, oh my God, Michael Martin. This knife is really, really impressive. And what's really impressive is that he's a one-man band, and he just makes this at his home. And it is of a quality that is, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And so this one is brand new. So some of that blasting, I have to wear a little track in the blasting on the tang of the blade there. And every day it gets smoother and smoother. Richie B, how's it going? Richie B Modification. So Lindy Lou's worse half. I mean, no offense, but, you got to say that if the ladies are involved. So S35 VN, this baby is beautiful. Look at that. It's a very thoughtful design. It shoots out great. So I have the 3 and the 4 over there on loan. Thank you very much. I have it, and the flipping action is very different between the 3 and the 4. Between the 4 and the 5, it's about the same. The flipper tab is slightly different, but he sent it to me, and I look at this. No hardware on the the hidden hardware on the clip is so cool, and that milled clip is so beautiful, precise, and that little pyramid there, but it's slightly raised up, so it's not gonna. It's a really well considered design. The ABW is greater than the sum of its parts for sure. It really, really, really is. And the handles, not for nothing, I've experienced 3 of them now, are all different and all really beautifully constructed. Anyway, he sent it to me. He's like, let me know if there's anything I should change, and I know that he's been like that. I mean, that was a major topic of conversation when we spoke on the podcast. He's been like that since the very start, and I think that's why we have a version 5. He's so open to suggestions, and not that he's going to take everyone, but an artist, and I'm going to loosely call him that, someone who bends their talent and will towards creating something. Let's just say that. If they're good at listening to constructive criticism and don't take it personally and don't let their ego get involved, there is no limit to what a creative person can do. And that also means discernment. That also means throwing out things that don't work, and understanding the difference, and knowing that this is my thing and that is not my vision. And even though that's great for something else, I'm not going to adopt that. But the whole thing about making it easier to close it, oh, I like that idea. Michael says, who gains business if cold steel is no longer an option? Emerson? Nah, I mean, and less varied. So I don't know if anyone who, maybe Tops, maybe Tops, but Tops doesn't have the chops. Tops doesn't have the chops when it comes to folders. I mean, they have a few, but they've really labored over them, and I'm not exactly sure they're there. I'm not sure what anyone else thinks about that. No, Emerson is high price. Cold steel is very often the best bang for your buck knives in the industry. Yeah, I cannot disagree with that. So I don't was in the triad. Cold steel is the triad lock, the Lynn Demko's designs and direction. I'll just follow wherever they go. Emerson's are great, but not the same level as cold steel. Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said there. Emerson is more of a boutique brand. I hate to put it that way, but it's more of a smaller, more exclusive product, and so their manufacturing is different, and everything about it is different. So I don't think that they could pick up the reins, but there are companies that have the capacity. I just don't think they have the will, like a Benchmade or Spyderco or a big outfit could, pick up the slack, but they're not going to. It's like there's not going to be. It's not going to be like, oh well, we've been waiting for cold steel to dip out of the industry so that finally we can make the Benchmade halberd and the Spyderco, Morning Star. Buffering. Is it my internet or buffering? What the hell? Buffering. YouTube is having issues, apparently. That sucks. Can anyone hear me right now? Am I just speaking into the darkness? Well, I'm always speaking into the darkness, but YouTube is running interference on behalf of their buddy. Yes, exactly. That's right. It's the fair to Midland off-brand hunting cabal. That's coming for us here. They don't like what we're saying. One last knife that is in the collection that I just want to talk about a little bit because I've been carrying the hell out of it. Can hear you. You can hear me? Yes? Can hear you. Okay, good. Thank you. This knife I've been carrying around a lot, and I love it. And it's the Off-Grid Scorpion. Now, this is another knife, much like the Model 1, that on paper is not, wasn't in what I consider compelling, because right now I'm not into titanium frame lock flip. I mean, I'm not into them, but my acquisitive side is more into slip joints right now. That hasn't abated. And so my mind wasn't in the frame lock flipper mode. And Carrie Orifice of Off-Grid sent me this knife to check out. And man alive, I love it. And it's interesting. I've mentioned it a couple of times. It does have a slight what the fuck is it called? The Microtech SOCOM. It has a SOCOM vibe to me. The handle design a little bit, like things about it, maybe the terminating end thing, the blade grind a little bit, something about it gives me that vibe. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it at all. A SOCOM is, blade heavy and fatter and, has a more severe taper. But I don't know what it is about this knife that reminds me of that knife. But the design of this thing and the ergonomics of this knife are outstanding. So this is their premium line, the Elite. I call it the Elite line, and this is the Scorpion. And man, alive, I love this. People have been putting out reviews of this recently, and I have not watched a one of them because when I do my review, I want to approach it totally unsullied. I don't know why, but it doesn't say my name, Michael Gorsuch. Oh, hey, Michael, how you doing? I know that name. Look at that very, very deep pocket clip. It does have the screws that rise up above the surface of the handle, but I can live with that. Not an absolute deal breaker, or not a deal breaker at all. If you're watching on Facebook, to leave a comment on the stream in my Facebook group, you'll need to grant StreamYard permission to see your name. That's right. We haven't had that. Yeah, we haven't talked about that in a while. Yeah, so go to StreamYards.com/Facebook. Thank you, sir. Michael. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Real Steel could fill the gap, or Steel will. No, Real Steel is not filling that. No one's filling that gap. No one's filling that gap. No one's making 3 different kinds of Viking battle axes. I'm sorry. That's just not happening. Real Steel is just San Renmu. And they're the least of all budget companies like CVVC, JRB, and Steelwell. You might be right about that. Well, I think you are right about that. I think the very first Real Steel. But okay, so all right. It only makes sense, and it is only right, morally and universally, for a company to come along and rescue them from themselves and their independent whims. Because also, the world does not need more weapons. The world needs fewer weapons, and so this is a castrating Cold Steel, and this is a great move. It's a great move because now they'll be able to sell a whole lot more of a whole lot less to a much, much broader community. Okay, well, there you go. That's my cynical take on things. Of course, I don't begrudge anyone. Anyone can do whatever they want with their. I'm just glad I got my hands on a lot of some OG Cold Steel. I have tons and tons of OG Cold Steel, which is good. And now I guess I'll never sell any because who knows? Who knows how valuable they may be in the future. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a full breakdown of my feelings of the Cold Steel corporate sale. Let's hope that things aren't as grim as we forecast, and let's hope the Cold Steel stays cold, or whatever you want to say. So I think that's about it for me. Jim, sorry I didn't do any life news tonight. We didn't talk about the disappointing annual Reader's Choice poll at Knife News. Oh, it's working now. You missed my Bob on Bob knife fight. Oh well. Those don't happen often. It's like a solar eclipse. I think we're good, says Chris. All right. Well, I was going to cover the disappointing Knife News annual Reader's Choice poll. I guess I will because I'm talking about it right now. But my immediate response was, well, first of all, you know me, I love Knife News. And so every year, Benjamin Schwartz puts out a poll and asks, a bunch of different categories. What's the best fixed blade for outdoors? What's the best fixed blade tactical? What's the best fixed blade kitchen? EDC. So those 4 just came out. And who dominates the field? Spyderco, Benchmade, and Mora. Spyderco, Benchmade, and Mora. The Spyderco chef's knife, what the hell is that called? Can't remember what that one is called. It's beautiful. I'm sure it's awesome. That one, Reader's Choice. The Spyderco nightstick, which is a dagger. Okay, it's a beautifully shaped dagger. However, it's only sharpened on one side, and come on, really, that's so unsatisfying. And they even grind it. They even give it a full bevel. It looks like it looks like it's edge ready, but then they put a little signature hole right near the foot of the false edge. So if you actually did want to sharpen that, I guess you have a built-in sharpening choil there, but you would really have a very thin edge by the time you got to that little hole. So this knife pissed me off since the moment I saw it. I think it's a beautiful looking design. I really do. But to come out with a dagger, see, this is why Spyderco will never replace Cold Steel. Not that they were aiming to, but a company that comes out with a dagger and then doesn't sharpen the other side because it wants to sell more daggers or more daggery looking objects. Why? Just put the other edge. Spyderco, you won. Put the other edge on there. Just do it. So yeah, that one, best tactical, and it's called the nightstick. It's a sharp, daggery, stabby implement, but we're going to call it a bludgeon. Okay. So you got that. You got the Mora Eldris for best fixed EDC. And that's cool. Who doesn't like the Mora Eldris? It's cute. It's colorful. It's bulbous. But it's also old. It's been around for what, four years or something? I don't know. I was a little disappointed to see that because I'm like, that. I feel like since this came out, there have been a lot of EDC fixed blades that have come out since then that, people are actually working on how do we make fixed blades, ultimately EDCable. And I have to say, to me, this one, the Eldris, not so. I mean, I EDC knives. I EDC this knife frequently, and EDC, that would mean every day. But so I don't. I FDC this. I frequently day carry this, and I got to say that little Eldris with all the grippiness and the bulbousness. No, I don't think that's comfortable unless it's around your neck. And for a neck knife, it's too big. It's too fat, and I don't know. It's light though. I just find it interesting, people. Why are people who are responding to this poll choosing already tried and true? The Benchmade, so for best fixed blade outdoors knife, they chose a Benchmade. Now, Benchmade's a totally respectable company, and this Liku is I know this knife has gotten a lot of great press. It looks beautiful. I'm sure it works great. But man, there's a company called Bark River Knives. There's a company called Work Tough. There is a company called Tops. There are so many great fixed blade companies that that could have, I don't know, could have made this cut, if you will. But instead, people chose Benchmade. And to me, I felt like, in times of trouble, people go to the harbors or whatever, the safe harbors that they know, whatever, the devil they know, And I'm thinking, off your knees, people. There are other companies besides Benchmade, Spyderco. I love Benchmade and Spyderco. Well, I don't love Benchmade, but I very much respect Benchmade, and I love some Spydercos. That's the way to say it. I love some Benchmades and I love some Spydercos, but they are not the be all end all. I'm shocked that for the best outdoor fixed blade, we come up with a Benchmade. All right, that's me. That's me. Sorry for the venting. Troubled times, these trying times. I worked with a guy who kept saying these trying times until I thought I was going to punch him in the face. All right. But I love him dearly. I don't think anyone will ever match the value Cold Steel had. You could spend under $40 and get a really tough, dependable knife. Yeah. And also, not for nothing, but they have once they started adopting premium steels into their lineup, that was the real shift. I feel. So they are a company where you can buy a knife in 20 CV in the Formax, or you can buy plenty of knives in S35, plenty of knives in XHP, but then you can also spend less and get AUS 8 or AUS 10 now, or spend even less and get 4116, or spend even less and get whatever that steel is they're using now. But it's also awesome. Just inexpensive, 50 years ago would have been a super steel. 10 years ago would have been a super steel. It's a popularity competition beauty shows, judging by the domination of the Knife Bros vote. Wait. It's a popularity competition beauty show, judging by the domination of the Knife Bros vote. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. It just seems like I don't know. For knife people, it seems like it would be a more interesting selection. To me, that's like the selection that maybe gun people would select. Now, like people whose main interest are guns. Like my main interest is knives. I know I like Glocks, but I'm not a gun guy, and I'm sure that people like, well, what do you like about Glock? What? I think the SRM is making great knives right now for the money, anyways. Yeah, this thing. Where the hell did I put it? Right here. The 9201. Catchy name. The 9201. It really is. It's a very high. I mean, it feels. So I've never held a San Renmu. Okay, when I was a kid, this is just an aside. You know how people now are like, they they signal their virtue to you and telling you whatever. Well, back in the day, it was, I don't even own a television. I don't even own a television. I don't fill my mind with that, Pat. Well, I never owned a San Renmu, never experienced a San Renmu, except a real steel, if that is made in the same company. So my opinion was only one acquired through people that I trust in the internet knife review world. So I was just assuming that they were kind of cheap pieces of crap. And, of course, the copying thing is a real turnoff. But this is really good. Now the thing that if I'm going to be this is strictly a matter of taste. Not crazy about the milling, but I like that there is milling because that's extra time, that's extra effort, and for a $30 knife, it means a lot. This chamfering is nice. The handle is comfortable. Boy, I just said that like an old person. Comfortable. And this gear pattern backspacer is really great. You got a recessed pocket for your pocket clip. All they have to do is put flat screws and the pocket clip is good to go. Now, anodized pivot collar. Nice touch. They didn't have to do that. The terracing in the opening hole. Very nice touch. Definitely did not have it. Spyderco doesn't do that. I hurt my thumb when I use my Spydercos. But no, I really do like that terracing. The one thing is their axis lock is it's kind of like it kind of feels like the axis lock on my Terminus XR. Actually, it's better than that, but still, it gets sticky. You flip it out there, it gets a little sticky, but it's a nice looking knife, man. Nice looking knife. It does have a little bit of the menace. I mean, I like a little bit of the menace in my knife designs, and it's got a little bit of that. Monster Racing says, Kubi puts out some great budget knives too. Never had one, but I like the look of some of them. I have a liner lock folder with an awesome Tanto in D2. That's the best action of all my knives, and it was like $30. Amazing what people are doing with knives now. But I mean, if you're old enough to remember, I can still remember the very first time I saw a friend of mine FaceTime. I thought my mind was just going to explode. I was like, 2001 is now, except it was like 2007. I was like, but still, I couldn't believe it. So what was my point in saying all that? I don't know. Kubi, wait, what did that say? Kubi? Joshua, I just got here. What did I miss? Joshua, you missed everything. I'm about to wrap up, but we were talking. I agree, Monster. I have a Kubi that drop shut. Yeah. I'm gonna have to check out some of those Kubis. They have some cool, menacing looking designs. But basically, Joshua, we were talking about Cold Steel and how they were sold themselves or sold out to GMS, a big sports brand conglomerate. And I fear that they are now going to start circling the drain. What else? How else can I put it? My son got a Cold Steel working man from Jimmy Slash. How cool! Jimmy Slash is so awesome. For his birthday, and it's the best. And it has the 4116 steel, and somehow 40. What do I have? I have a couple of spikes with 4116, and also the little Kiridashi. That's a great steel. Works fine. Cold Steel fills a niche in a way I don't see any other company filling. I was never a huge Cold Steel fan, but they do make some awesome knives. Agreed. I mean, I agree with that. But yeah, it's not just that. It's all the special projects. It's who's going to fill the Warhammer gap now? Really? I mean, come on. Someone's got to make Warhammers that aren't just like Cult of Athena, dress up stuff. I want to know that I can go through, battle ready. Cold Steel is basically the Harley Davidson of knives. Can't replace that. Yeah. That's a good analogy. Harley Davidson of knives. All right, y'all. I didn't mean to turn this into a memorial. They're not gone. We'll have to see. Don't mean to judge too early, but we got to see what they do, see what happens. But if past, it's like with people. If past behavior is the best indication of future behavior, so it's kind of the same thing. Like past behavior for corporate sales is probably a good indication of how things are going to go down the road. And you can look at a couple of, modern knife companies to see how that works out. So anyway, there you have it. And, oh, look at this. We are one. Okay. All right. And so for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, as always, I want to thank you all for coming and spending your time with me. And yeah, said here they're keeping Lynn Thompson. All right, we'll see how long that lasts. I mean, they got to say that right now. They got to say that so they don't have an entire fan base jumping ship and going nuts, like we've been doing all night, or like I've been doing. So anyway, Jim, thank you, sir, for keeping me honest back there and rolling in the credits, and for producing this show. It's always greatly appreciated. For everyone out there who watches regularly and who actually missed us last week, greatly appreciated. I love having you here. I love talking with you, and it makes my Thursday, makes my week. So thank you all. I am Bob DeMarco saying to you, don't take dull for an answer.